Hello out there. Hi. And welcome to my podcast, the Inside the Quirky Mind. I chose that title because I've always been a person where I think outside the box. I like things that are a little bit different, a little bit weird. And one of my all-time favorite, I guess, quirks is a band called Hanson. I have been a band since like 1997, and something that's incredible that's happening is they are having this kind of flashback, nostalgia, throwback to this time around, which is their second album that came out 20 years ago. Yes, 20 years ago. There are some bands who haven't even lasted that long, but Hanson in their own right has been around since 1987 and still rocking out. So we're going to talk about this time around and my newest little obsession of the Russian dolls. So this time around, like I said, came out in 2000, and their first album, Middle of Nowhere, came out in 1997. They had the classic hits as far as Bop, Where's the Love, I'll Come to You, and the single Weird. These are the singles that came out in 1997, and this album just blew up. It just came out of nowhere in the middle of an era of grunge music, such as Nirvana and Foo Fighters and all those bands. And then next thing you know, you have this band that just comes out, three boys just singing their hearts out, and they captivated a wide range of youth at that time with their single about mostly girls. But you know, there are some Hanson guys out there who totally enjoy their music, and this album was awesome. It was even nominated for a Grammy for Mbop. And the world was able to see another little craze in girls. It was often said when people compared Hanson as they were growing up that they have not seen this type of energy in music since the Jackson 5 or the Beatles. So that is a very, very, very awesome gift, and very like an awesome compliment from other music people in the industry, as well as talk show hosts who interview the guys, that they have not seen this type of excitement in such a while. So then there was this radio silence from Hanson for at least a good 3 to 4 years. And there wasn't a new album except for their Christmas album, Snowed In, that came out later in 97. So that album was also amazing. That's one of my favorite go-to Christmas CDs. You know that it's Christmas in my house because I will put on Snowed In and I'll be jamming out as I'm making my hot cocoa and decorating the tree and putting up all of the fantastic Christmas holidays decorations around my home. So yes, my husband even knows. He's like, yeah, it must be Christmas time because like you're playing Hanson, Snowed In. So of course. But now fast forward. We're going to fast forward to this time around. It came out in May in the year of 2000. During that time, another shift in music had happened. We have like deep in the pop era of music, where you find Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, the Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, and just countless of other pop music that was coming out like they used to call like a factory of bubblegum music, because it was just coming out like that. There was always a new band, a new song, a new single, and a lot of those bands are not really here today, but Hanson is. So, you know, during that time, around 1999, 2000, Britney Spears came out with her single "Hit Me Baby One More Time," which is a very popular song. People know it. And then you have the NSYNC coming out with Tearing Out My Heart, and then you have the Backstreet Boys coming in as well. But Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, they were already doing their thing in the UK. But when Hanson came over and kind of popped that pop bubble, you started to see more of that type of style music coming out. And Hanson was in contract with Mercury Records. It's this entertainment recording company that's not even around anymore that I know of. And then you have Hanson trying to make a reappearance in the year of 2000, and they come up with an awesome CD in my opinion. This time around has songs like Save Me, If Only, Runaway Run, Wish That I Was There, Dying to Be Alive. These are just some of their greatest hits that are within that song, within that album, that a lot of the fans know and have grown to love. But this song came with some very, very, very harsh criticism when this album came out. A lot of people were still used to Hanson being just a teeny bopper boys. They were not used to a mature Hanson. And so what I feel like is people did not know what to do with Hanson because their sound was so different. Let's think about it. They were really young. Zach was like 11 years old. So what happens when you're like a young teenager, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17? You go through changes, your voice changed, and they had to adapt to that. And there were some people who didn't like it. They did not like the mature sound of Hanson. They still wanted another Bop, Where's the Love? That's kind of like where some people's minds were stuck at, even some of the adults in the industry. They had some really harsh criticism of this time around. One person had said to the fact of, if you thought Bop was bad, you should hear their sound now because puberty was not good to Hanson. No. Puberty was amazing for Hanson, and it created a brand new sound, a brand new type of music, and it showed what Hanson was really about. And it's really a shame that people who kind of like wrote off this time around did not give it a fair shot, because whenever someone talks about this time around, they bring up Middle of Nowhere, they bring up the poppy sound of Bop, they bring up the poppy sound of Where's the Love. But if you were to listen to Middle of Nowhere, you would know that there was more than just Bop and Where's the Love. They also had Yearbook. They also had With You in Your Dreams. So they had other songs within that album that wasn't just necessarily quote unquote pop. And so Hanson got lost in the shuffle of everything. Not because they were bad musicians and not because they did not put out a kick-ass album. It's because people were so in tune with that pop generated sound. And here you have a band that kind of had that with their first album, and then they're moving towards another shift. They're trying to grow up. And this is the problem that you have when you have young, talented artists within the industry. People want to keep them the same. People want to keep 11-year-old Zach and 15-year-old Taylor and 17-year-old Isaac. They didn't want to hear a new, mature sound from Hanson. And I don't think that's Hanson's fault. I believe that that's the fault of the industry for wanting to just keep this pop bubblegum cycle going. And here you have Hanson are like, no, we have more to give than that, which caused a longer time for this time around to even come around. And it also took them through some battles and trials. But in the end, they were able to withstand it all. And so I'm so excited for what's coming up next for Hanson. They're going to be releasing some new music, and we're going to know more about that in coming up next month in May, especially if you're a HansonNet member. So here's the thing. Even though it's been 20 years ago since this time around, and even longer for Middle of Nowhere, this band is still here. They're still selling out concerts. They're still doing their thing. And that is such a good thing to know. I just recently saw them in January when they did Listener's Choice, and they sound so good and so polished and so amazing. And I really hope that other people will be able to enjoy what a lot of the fans have enjoyed, and what a lot of the fans have been saying, that no, Hanson, they're good. There's more than just Bop. There's more than just Middle of Nowhere. Hanson has a very, very, very large catalog of music if you actually get the time to actually dive into who Hanson is and who their music is. It's really awesome. So, everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed this little podcast and my quirky obsession with the boys of Hanson, Isaac, Taylor, and Zach. So, everyone out there, if you're quirky and weird, it's okay. Keep being weird, keep being quirky, and you know what? Keep being yourself. Everyone, hi. Everyone, Thank you for watching. Bye. Or listening.